Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode in our TNA series in TEW IX. It is ICR Daredevil back doing the thing again. We are on the road to Slammiversary. We have this Impact, and then I'm pretty sure two more after that. I just looked at it not even 5 minutes ago, and I've already forgotten what it was. But yeah, we have this Impact and then two more after that. But we are going to dive into things. We have two number one contenders matches happening tonight. The Fatal 4-Way match for the number one contendership for the X Division Championship happening tonight, as well as the number one contendership for the Knockouts Tag Team titles is happening tonight. Plus, we have Angelina Love versus Serena Deeb, where if Serena Deeb wins, then Angelina Love is banned from ringside for the Knockouts title match at Slammiversary. So let's dive into things. We're going to open up our show, surprisingly enough, with one of our fatal, well, that spoils it slightly, one of our number one contendership matches, as we are opening up with the Fatal 4-Way match for the number one contendership for the X Division Championship. The winner goes on to Slammiversary to challenge Jay Lethal for the X Division Championship, and in front of 7,268 people at the Cumberland Crown Coliseum in North Carolina. It is Jeff Hardy, surprise, surprise, who defeats Kazarian, Rhino, and Adam Cole in 12:55 when Jeff Hardy pinned Rhino with a twist of hate. 70 rating for this segment. Good stuff there. 62 for the wrestling, 52 for the crowd. 57 for Cole, 63 for Kazarian, 62 for Rhino, and 66 for Jeff. Man, Kazarian having a hell of a performance in this matchup. Yeah, so there you go. So we obviously, the stuff with Cole and Kazarian advancing, that storyline going on, and then obviously the storyline with Jeff Hardy and the House of Truth advancing there. But there you go. So Jeff Hardy is the number one contender for the X Division Championship. However, he's not going to feel too great about it right now, because afterwards he gets beaten down by the House of Truth as Jay Lethal stands over him, lifting the X Division Championship in the air. Jay Lethal and Truth Martina are not repairing. I've got to fix that. I'm not. No. No. The previous game had. I don't think it had any. I don't think it had good chemistry, but it at least did not have bad chemistry. So we're gonna fix that, because I'm not gonna suddenly break up the House of Truth just because of that. But there you go. So we were left with a scene of security trying to back off everybody, but Jay Lethal manages to kind of stand over Jeff Hardy, who's laid out on the mat, lifting the X Division Championship on the air, as it is official for Slammiversary now. It is going to be Jay Lethal defending the X Division Championship against Jeff Hardy. We get a backstage segment. It gets a 33 rating. Kind of expected it, honestly. As Candice LeRae is walking backstage and comes across Evie, who seems kind of disappointed. Candice asks what's going on, and Evie expresses disappointment about not being in the Knockouts Tag Title number one contendership match, which is up next. Evie feels like it's her fault that they lost the match at Sacrifice, but Candice tries to stop that line of thought in Evie's head. She says that they'll bounce back and get another opportunity in the future. For now, they focus on improving as individuals and as a tag team. Evie still seems a little disappointed, but at least does somewhat smile with that as Candice walks off. So kind of showing a little bit of a character development with Evie. She's kind of disappointed that they can't get themselves a Knockouts Tag Title match. But we'll have to see what ends up happening. So there is that. Speaking of Knockouts Tag Title match on the line, as the winning tag team goes on to Slammiversary to take on Cheerleader Melissa and Kana for those Knockouts Tag Team titles. And in a 54 rated matchup, the match goes to a draw, because both tag team champions, Kana and Cheerleader Melissa, run in and attack both teams. Kana runs in and attacks Io Shirai at the same time that Cheerleader Melissa runs in and attacks Mia Yim. So match gets thrown out. 54 here. Yeah, I don't know what we're going to do about that. The champions just laid out both possible challengers, so we'll have to see what ends up happening with that. But, still got a 54 for the segment. That's not too bad. The Shirai's both getting a 50 in-ring performance. Leave with a 43, Mia Yim with a 41. So there is that. We'll have to see. I guess Maria Kanellis is going to have to figure out what's going to happen now with the Knockouts tag titles come Slammiversary. 60 rated interview as Christy Hemme standing by with Austin Aries backstage, and she asked him about the upcoming matchup with Roderick Strong. He's going to be taking on Roderick Strong up next here on Impact. Says that he knows Roddy all too well from their time in Generation X all those years ago. Knows that Roddy's one hell of a competitor. I spelled competitor wrong. And knows this will be one hell of a matchup. But Aries wants to get another step closer to the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, and if he has to be an old friend to do so, then so be it. So the idea behind this matchup is Austin Aries wants to keep climbing the ladder to get to the world title, and Roderick Strong looking to kind of get some more momentum on his side as well, even though he's dealing with Christopher Daniels right now. Match itself gets a 74. Honestly, I kind of expected a little better, but I'll take it. As in a superb matchup, Austin Aries actually defeats Roderick Strong in 1750 by pinfall at the 450 splash, because Christopher Daniels provided a distraction on Roderick Strong and allowed Aries to kind of get the victory. It was one of those things that Aries didn't really quite see that there was that there was a distraction by Daniels. He just, came to, it was one of those things where Strong had just laid out Aries. Daniels hopped up on the apron, distracted him, and Aries attacked Strong from behind without seeing Daniels being there, and kind of went from there. So got a 74, 75 wrestling rating. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, Aries with a 75, Strong with a 74. So thanks to Daniels, Strong takes a loss here on Impact tonight. 43 rated segment as MVP approaches Dixie Carter backstage, and before she can even say anything, he immediately gets in her face. Complains about having to face AJ Styles in the main event tonight. That is tonight's main event here on Impact, by the way, is AJ Styles versus MVP one-on-one. And the disrespect being shown towards the BDC here in TNA by those morons in charge, referring to, of course, yours truly and Maria Kanellis. So the things were better here in TNA when Dixie was in control. Well, had on-screen control, that is. And that if she doesn't do something to stop this from continuing to happen, then everyone, including her, will pay. So kind of threatening Dixie to be like, hey, you need to get back in it. You need to get some power back here in TNA again. Otherwise otherwise you're not going to like the result. So yeah, kind of interesting a little bit there. Of course, Dixie Carter doesn't have she's not allowed to be involved in any sort of booking decisions, is the kayfabe thing. Obviously, she's still the owner of TNA, so she's still allowed to do a lot of company decisions. She's just not allowed to, signing and hiring and firing people and stuff like that. She's just not allowed to do any sort of booking stuff, any sort of making matches and stuff like that. It's the kayfabe thing behind it all. But apparently, according to MVP, she needs to figure out a way to get at least some ability to book, to make matches again. Otherwise, there could be an issue heading forward. Then we go to a different part of the arena where Christopher Daniels is walking backstage, proud of what he did just a bit ago, costing Roderick Strong the victory, when he gets jumped from behind by an incensed Roderick Strong. Officials show up to try to separate the two as Strong shows his angry side of him and even pushes an official or two out of the way, before finally calming down a bit and backing off. So we're getting a lot of chaos happening on the show tonight. We got the House of Truth attacking attacking Jeff Hardy. We've got the Knockouts Tag Team Champions causing a match to get thrown out. And now we've got Christopher Daniels being attacked by Roderick Strong backstage. So a lot of chaos in the on Impact here this week. Then we have a 58 rated matchup, which honestly is better than I expected it to go. So I'll take it. As Angelina Love defeats Serena Deeb in 10:36 by pinfall by using underhanded tactics. We'll say she held the tights, I guess. 58 rated for the segment. 43 from Love, 53 from Deeb. So there you go. Angelina Love is not banned from ringside for the match at Slammiversary. Yeah, there's that. Kind of a, I don't want to say surprising upset, but kind of a bit of an upset because Angelina Love has taken a lot of losses in her year plus of this save. And so her getting a victory here is kind of a bigger deal, you know. Like I mentioned before, Angelina Love might be starting to get a little bit of momentum on her side because she's not terrible in the ring, especially compared to a lot of the other women in, you know, that I'm trying to get, build up as well. Granted, her 43 isn't exactly one of her better in-ring performances as of late, but it's, you know, it's still something. So there's that. And then afterwards, she kind of mocks Serena Deeb as she heads up the ramp, kind of a cocky smile on her face. Deeb looks on disappointed as commentators talk about how this means that Angelina Love can be at ringside for the match at Slammiversary and what this could end up meaning for Gail Kim. 52 rating for that segment there. We got 36. Probably brought down by the fact I had Cage and Conley on screen. That's probably what happened there. Chris Hemme standing by backstage with Ethan Carter III and the rest of the narrative. Hemme asked EC3 about his recent struggles to get in the rankings, taking that loss to Austin Aries a few weeks ago in Impact. And EC3 is not happy with the question. He says that it's clearly a conspiracy that Daredevil has against him because of his Aunt Dixie. So he's petitioning the board of directors themselves to make sure that he ends up in the Bound for Glory series this year to avoid the clear bias that Daredevil would have against him in being in that series. So EC3 apparently has put a petition before the board of directors to try to get his name into the Bound for Glory series. So there you go. There's that. Brought down, like I said, by Cage and Conley being involved. Not because of because I put Conley on a non-speaking role, so he wouldn't have been rated on anything anyway other than popularity. And I put Cage as on a bodyguard role, which means he would have been rated on menace and popularity. But that's kind of the issue, is that Cage and Conley have no popularity whatsoever right now. So that's probably what brought it down. But that's all right. That's all right. It got the point across. Then we get a 74 rated squash match, essentially, as Samoa Joe comes to the ring and beats the hell out of Trevor Murdoch and then gets him to tap out in 5:15 with Coquina Clutch. This is just Joe continuing to destroy people, which, funny enough, is exactly what he did in last year's Bound for Glory series. He went and destroyed people, dominating his way through that Bound for Glory series and then winning the title at Bound for Glory. So are we seeing the precursor for what we might see as a sequel of last year's Bound for Glory series? We'll have to see. 80 from Joe, 49 from Murdoch. There you go. 74 rated segment there. Then before our main event tonight, we see Colt Cabana standing by backstage. He says that normally you'd see him in a friendly and happy-go-lucky kind of attitude. He'd be cracking jokes, big smile on his face, all that kind of stuff. Tonight, though, he's not feeling very friendly. He had to watch as his friend and tag partner was put on the shelf. He's had to deal with Abyss constantly fighting with him and attacking him at this point, and now he's going to be bringing out a different side of him. See, last week he was warned by Daphne to stay away from Abyss. No, in fact, he's going to be doing the opposite, because he's issuing a challenge to Abyss. Slammiversary. Abyss versus Colt Cabana. Monsters Ball. So there you go. I mentioned in a previous episode that I was probably going to end up putting a some sort of gimmick with this if it ended up become official. And there you are. So it's going to be, because you got to imagine that Abyss is going to accept it, obviously. So it's going to be Colt Cabana and Abyss inside of Monsters in a Monsters Ball match at Slammiversary. So that should be absolutely chaotic. Then our main event gets a 79 rating as AJ Styles defeats MVP in 13:22 thanks to due to a disqualification, that is, when the Strong Style Thugs ran in and attacked AJ Styles, putting a beatdown on him. 79 rating, 74 wrestling. Nice. 88 from Styles, 60 from MVP, who seemed off his game. There's that. I really should probably use MVP a little bit more in ring-wise. The reason I kind of stopped so much and put him as more of a manager is because I felt like he wasn't really performing that well. But it's not like he's really declining at all. And he's not a terrible in-ring competitor. I mean, 60 is not bad. So I should probably start using him as an in-ring competitor a little bit more often, but we'll see what happens. Nevertheless, this gets to 79. And to end Impact, because again... Wait, what? All right, that is not how that was supposed to go. So that's something else that needs to be fixed with this game. That's not what happened here. Let's see. Here's what happened. I can do that, right? Yeah. I don't know if it's going to save it on here, but here's what happened. Eddie Kingston, MVP, and Homicide. I can't type. Attack AJ Styles. Trying to do this on the fly really quick. Briscoes make. I can't type. Save. That's what actually ended up happening. Well, see, I knew I was going to save it. That's what ends up actually happening, though. It was a 3-1 beatdown by the BDC there, the Strong Style Thugs, and MVP putting a beatdown on AJ Styles when the Briscoes ran out to make the save, chasing them off to a big pop. Of course, kind of has a little bit of a storyline connection because, of course, the Briscoes lost to the other two members of the BDC last week in Shelton Benjamin and D'Angelo De Niro. So has a little bit of a storyline connection to that there, but that's got a 60. Lost here for the storyline. Not worried about it. Show gets 74. Increases our popularity in 5 regions. I'll take it. It's better than last week's rating. So there's that. Financial report. We made $125,000 on the night. Popularity report. A recap, that is. We gained popularity. We gained a point in Central Europe. We slightly gained popularity in New Zealand. We slightly gained popularity in 2 regions in Japan. And we gained a full popularity point in Kyushu, Japan. So that's cool. Cool. So there you go. There's that. We are continuing to have that build towards Slammiversary happening now. The Briscoes running out to help AJ Styles from being attacked, so we might be seeing the Briscoes in some capacity being allied with AJ Styles heading forward or something. Or who knows? We're not sure exactly. We now have for sure the matches, or the 2 more matches. Well, not 2 more. We have 1 more match for Slammiversary, which is, of course, Jay Lethal versus Jeff Hardy for the X Division Championship. So that'll be interesting to see there. We'll have to see what happens with the Knockouts tag team titles. And then, of course, we'll have to wait because it's not official yet, but it seems like it's going to be official that it'll be Colt Cabana and Abyss in that Monsters Ball match at Slammiversary. Plus, you got to imagine there's going to be some sort of Christopher Daniels versus Roderick Strong thing at this point with everything that's been happening and all that. We'll look at this stuff here really quick. Bully Ray argued with a fan before Ring of Honor. What a surprise. What a surprise. Dijak was released by Beyond, as was Johnny Cockstrong, and so was Kevin Quinn. Dijak's an interesting one. I don't know what he's working for FWE and Squared Circle at this point. Interesting. Ratings 1.3 mil. People watching Impact. 60 for NXT, which pulled in 239,000 viewers. Saw Nick Dinsmore and Tyler Breeze defeat Oliver Gray and Jay Bronson. I gotta make sure I set it up in this mod too, that Dinsmore, well, I guess that technically Dinsmore's still a wrestler. I gotta make sure that this mod has that this save has the other workers not working though. Ring of Honor only had 6,300 people watching. That's kind of crazy. They had 51. So Matt Hardy and Bully Ray defeat Delirious and Josh Barnett. You know what? Maybe that's why they didn't have that many people watching. They are on Sportsnet Ontario, Sportsnet Pacific, The Box, and WAPA. Do any of those even cover the tri-state area? Are they even on in the tri-state area at all? FIP had 286 people watching on TV. The FIP is only being shown in New Zealand. They're not being shown anywhere in America for some reason. They had more people in attendance than they did viewership-wise. So Bobby Lashley and AR Fox defeat Hernandez and Mr. Anderson in the main. I want to see that really quick. Ring of Honor. Oh god, Scott Steiner got promoted to the inner circle. Scott Steiner is a locker room leader in Ring of Honor in 2015. That's insane. Yeah, I don't know. Lapa might actually be a broadcast or a tri-state area one. No, they're Puerto Rico. And they have like a billion places that they're showing. So they're on in Puerto Rico, in Ontario, in British Columbia, and in New Zealand. So Ring of Honor isn't even being shown in America. I don't know what the hell happened there. I don't know why Ring of Honor is not being shown in America either. That's weird. Huh. Is NXT? That's not the one I meant to click. Is NXT being shown in America? I just want to see. Yeah, they're on Hulu Plus and then WWE. Okay. That's weird though. I don't know why ROH and FIP don't have American TV deals, but whatever. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode. Thank you all for watching. Definitely appreciate it. And we are continuing on the road to Slammiversary. We are now, as of recording this on the Friday, June 12th, 2015 in this, we're 16 days away. So we have 2 more impacts and then it'll be time for Slammiversary. So thank you all for watching. Definitely appreciate it. And we will catch you in a future video.